This little purple badge for her. I'll just do that. There's actually quite a few joining online. I'm wondering if the windy weather, because there's some stuff that people around. There's Cortez and Papua. I get that. Okay. We're probably gonna start soon. Okay.
Find it.
Don't roll over them.
Good morning. My name is Vivian Fuji, and I'm your chairperson for this morning. Now we will have opening meditation followed by Nambutsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu. 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 Good morning and welcome to everyone and our guest speaker, Reverend Keith Kato. Today is our spring Ohigan service, and during the spring equinox, days and nights are of equal length. This changing of the season becomes a time for personal reflection and for remembering and honoring our ancestors. In Japan, this is a week-long holiday for self-reflection and honoring one's ancestors. Ohigan is celebrated starting 3 days before the equinox and ending 3 days after. Families turn their hearts and minds to their ancestors for good health and success at home and at work. Ohigan is a time to reflect and remember our loved ones who have crossed over to the other shore. Next, we will be doing Sambu Jo, and there's a hand, everyone should have a handout.
this occasion of the Buddhist Church of Stockton's annual observance of the spring Ohigan, we are gathered together to adorn the shrine of the Buddha, burn incense, chant the sacred writings, and deepen our understanding of the Buddha Dharma. During the spring and fall equinox, when the hours of the day and night are equal, the sun symbolically rises in the east and sets in the west toward the direction of the pyramid. We gather to listen and meditate upon the teachings of the Buddha Dharma as clarified and transmitted to us by Shinran Shin. Please join me in Gassho. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu.
Next, we will have Gotha, When We See the Golden Sun. It's in the service book, page 227. It's also included in this program, followed by Three Treasures.
Three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life, now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One, now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves your supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in your life with harmony, in a spirit of universal brotherhood, free from the bondage of selfishness, even through ages of myriads of kalpas. Hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. No.
Now we will do sutra chanting, Jusei in the service book on page 95. It's also included in this program.
Sinamanda, 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 Sinamanda.
Now we will have incense offering by the following representatives. Dharma School student Andrew Kawaguchi. Dharma School teacher Tiffany Shibata. Sangha Club, Ella Uemura. Is there anybody else who could represent Sangha Club? Young Buddhist Association, Elise Fuji. Young Adult Buddhist Association, Dr. Alan Kawaguchi. Youth Athletic Organization, Derek Buamura. Is there anybody else who could represent Youth Athletic Organization? Thank you. Adult Buddhist Association, Dolores Matsumura. Komonakai, Mike Shibata. Stockton Hupioteco, Chris Kubo. Stockton Kendo Dojo, George Fuji. Cortez Holokai, Dan Kubo. Stockton Buddhist Women's Association, June Shiba. Buddhist Church of Stockton, Candy Hayashi. Next, we will have our Dharma School message by our guest speaker, Reverend Keith Kato. He had his wife Shirley and two sons, Jeff and Russell. He worked for the state of California for 36 years and retired in December 2011. He is from Sacramento Buddhist Church, and he has lots of experience with the church. He's attended approximately 60 years. He was a Board of Trustees member for 24 years. He was the president of the church in 2000. And he's the president of the Adult Buddhist Association for 2 years, and he was a Dharma school teacher for 3 years. He's been a minister's assistant for over 10 years since July 2012. He received Tokudo in November 2014. He said he's spoken at all the Northern California district temples except one, Lauren. He has experience in bedside services, funerals, memorial services, and interment services. Please welcome our guest speaker, Reverend Keith Kato.
Thank you very much. Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu.
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 Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Again, good morning, everyone. Good morning to the Sangha of the Sacramento Stockton Buddhist Church. My name is Sensei Keith Kato, and I was requested by Reverend Candace, thank you, to share our message with the young people. And I have been racking my brains trying to figure out what this 70-year-old dude could say to the young folks. And then it dawned on me as I was driving and seeing all the homeless near the Sacramento Buddhist Church. And that thought was, how can the youth avoid living in this very unfortunate state of human existence with the help of the Buddhist teaching? Imagine, if you will, that you are one of the homeless living around your church. The reality of homeless condition means no home, no real shelter from the freezing cold and the scorching hot weather, no money to buy food and clothing, having no family or friends for support, no running water, and therefore no toilets, no bathing facilities. And when I thought about those conditions, when I was your age, 50, 60 years ago, I told myself back then that I would never live like this. So how did I avoid being a homeless person? And more importantly, how can you avoid becoming homeless? It all starts with the Buddhist compassion of giving and receiving love within the family. Think of all the things your parents provide you with which you probably take for granted. A clean and comfortable home, clean clothes to wear, 3 square meals of breakfast, lunch, and dinner, running water to take a shower or bath so that your body remains clean and safe from the diseases. If you are old enough, a car to drive, and most important of all, love from your parents who will always care about you, care what you do, and will do just about anything for you. For all the benefits you have been given, you have to do your part in paying them back. And it starts with you having the right attitude, to give the right effort, and going to school, listening to the teachers, studying your books. If you do that, then you can hopefully get a good job so that you can continue the lifestyle that your parents gave you when you lived under their roof. Also, you probably think your parents are not very smart and that somehow you are smarter than they are. But trust me, they have the experience and knowledge to guide you in the right direction if you allow them. Maybe you feel like you need to get out of your parents' shadow so that you can find out who you are. Again, trust me when I say that when the time is right, your parents will let you fly on your own to find out who you are. Just don't be too much in a hurry, for time is on your side. The bond between parents and their children is a sacred one, where each side respects the other's space when the time is appropriate. There will be a time when your parents will no longer be around you. When that time comes, you will realize how lucky you were to have your parents always love you, no matter how many arguments you had with them as they tried to teach you right from wrong. And your parents always, and I underline the word always, worrying about you no matter how old you were. So as the Buddha would say, wake up and be mindful of your good fortune. Always love your parents. Always respect them. And never, never, ever take them for granted. Please join me in Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu.
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 Thank you, Sensei, for your Dharma message. Now we're going to do our pledge and Nembutsu, which is on the back cover of the service book.
Please rise for our pledge. Our pledge. Breaking out of my shell, I will share a warm smile and speak gentle words, just like the kind Buddha. Not becoming lost in my greed, anger, and ignorance, I shall think and act with an open mind, just like the calm and peaceful Buddha. Not putting myself first, I will share in the joy and sadness of others, just like the compassionate Buddha. Realizing the gift of life I have received, I shall strive to live each day to its fullest, like the Buddha who tirelessly works to liberate all. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu.
Okay, we have lots of announcements. There's at least 11. Okay, the first one is SBWA is having a Donna Day service on March 27th at 11:30. We welcome new members. Please contact any SBWA member. Reverend Shabata's online book club will meet on March 22nd at 6:30. The current read is Buddhism of the Heart. You can email Reverend Shibata or contact the office if interested. The 2023 scholarship applications are available either electronically or hard copy. Please contact Nicole in the church office. The due date for the scholarship packages is May 19th with all required paperwork. Please submit names of high school and college graduates to the church office by May 1st. We are planning the return of Tanpopo Gakko with tentative dates of July 17th through the 21st. Please contact Misa Harita if you're interested by March 31st. BCA Music Committee is having a Gotha lyric writing contest. Cash prizes for the winning entry. Deadline is June 4th, 2023. And for details, you go to www.buddhistchurchesofamerica.org/music. The church is having their home and hospital visitation on April 8th. If you know of someone who would appreciate a visit, please notify the office. Well, I guess it said by March 15th. So that was in the past, but I'm sure you could still notify them. Save the date April 7th for Panda Express fundraiser for the Buddhist Church of Stockton. And there's a fundraiser code 913634. Then Yaba is having their Da Vinci fundraiser, and that is Wednesday, May 3rd through Sunday, May 7th. And you can pick it up any of those 5 days. Tickets are $15 each, includes pasta, your choice, green salad, and bread. And you can redeem your tickets at any of the Da Vinci locations. Their hours are from 10:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. They're located on Pershing Avenue, Thornton Road, East Front Street in Linden, and South Church Street in Lodi. And tickets will be available before and after services in March and April. Or you can get it from the church office or from any Yaba member. Thank you for supporting Yaba. Sangha Club is continuing their collection of aluminum cans and recyclable plastic bottles. Donations may be left by the white bin under the carport area. Help keep recyclable bottles and cans out of our landfills while supporting one of our youth organizations. Are there any other announcements? Oh, Reverend.
So, we do have a treat for Donna Day. I did want to announce who our guest speaker is for the Donna Day service, through the Stockton Buddhist Women's Association. Mrs. Darlene Backshaw will be our guest speaker, so I'm so happy that Darlene can share her appreciation, and possibly some of her experiences serving not only in the temple board and temple wide, but also the district and the national organization of the Buddhist Churches of America. So I just wanted to thank Darlene in advance for being our guest speaker. And I do want to express my sincere appreciation to my minister assistant in training, Mrs. Kay Freeman. And apologize that I embarrassed you just by announcing you right now unexpectedly, but all of the support that I received from Kay, I just want you to know, and I just wanted to let everybody else know how much I appreciate what Kay is doing. And Kay works her magic during the Sundays that she's able to come to help me set up the altar, set up the incense and everything, and also take the altar pieces down, such as the flowers and fruits and the rice offerings. And so I just wanted to express my appreciation to you, Kay. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing to support us here at the temple, and especially support me as well to make my job a little bit easier. And of course, I do want to welcome anybody who might be interested in learning to become a minister's assistant. I welcome you to let me know if you're interested, and I'd be happy to support you on that journey as well. So thank you again, Kay, and thank you everybody in advance if you're interested. Okay, thank you.
Okay, now we'll have Oshoko by the Donna School students. And then afterwards, we'll have our adult Dharma message by Reverend Kika.
Okay, so it's my pleasure to introduce Reverend Keith Cotto again. And I have the pleasure of knowing Reverend Cotto for a while now, but I think it's been my first time being able to invite Sensei as our guest speaker. So I'm so glad that he's able to come. And I do, today is an expression of thanks. In addition to thanking Kay and thanking everybody for your support, I do have to thank my friends and colleagues at the Buddhist Church of Sacramento for assisting me, and of course Reverend Matt and Reverend Yuki, allowing their minister's assistants to come just a little bit down I-5 to join us. And we're always so lucky to receive wonderful guest speakers, and so I'm more than privileged to introduce again our guest speaker, Reverend Keith Cotto. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you, Reverend Candace. And again, good morning. First off, I just wanted to thank you for your hospitality when I came here I believe 4 years ago, before the COVID, the pandemic. So I just wanted to say thank you for your hospitality. And also, just to let you know that we all are doing fine in Sacramento. We're pretty much opening up everything right now. So we look forward to hopefully becoming somewhat normal during the 2023 year. Now, as Reverend Candace had mentioned, she was asking about prospective minister's assistant. And I just wanted to share with you a little bit about my journey as a minister assistant before I go on to the main message. And when I retired in December 2011, I really didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to do something constructive. But the definition of constructive was kind of fuzzy at that moment. I knew that golfing, which I enjoyed, yard work, cleaning house because of my wife, being part of a community service organization like the Sacramento Center Alliance Club that my wife and I are in, would not completely fulfill my life. After I retired, Reverends Bob and Patty Oshka asked me to consider becoming a minister's assistant. And initially I thought they were playing a joke on me. But later on I found out that their offer was real. And after thinking about it for a few months and talking to some of the members of the minister's assistance team in Sacramento, I finally accepted their offer. And in reflecting back after my 11 plus years journey as a minister's assistant, I can honestly say this whole experience has enriched my life beyond my wildest dreams. I discovered that anything worth doing requires you to work for it and always work at it by putting in the right effort, having the right attitude, and by doing so, the benefits you receive are so much greater. I thought being a minister's assistant was about me helping others with how to live life and deal with death. But what I found out on my journey was while helping others, I was really helping myself in learning to live a more quote unquote balanced approach in my life, such as having greater appreciation for the people in my life and simply enjoying living this life. What started out as a joke, I thought, turned out to be one of the greatest experiences of my life. And it continues to be, and please excuse my language, one hell of an adventure. So as I mentioned before, for those of you who may be thinking about becoming an MA, I could assure you 125%, you will never regret it. And you will experience things that you will not ordinarily experience just as a member of the Sangha coming to the Sunday service. So I too would encourage you to become an MA. You won't regret it. And finally, I will forever be grateful to Reverends Bob and Patty Oshka, Shinran Shonin, Shakyamuni Buddha, and Amida Buddha for being a Jodo Shinshu Buddhist. Okay, now on to the main message. In Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, We observe and celebrate the spring Ohigan during the spring equinox in the month of March that marks the beginning of spring. During this month, day and night are approximately 12 hours each when the sun is directly over the Earth's equator. This symbolizes the perfection of sunlight and darkness within the day. The pleasant weather allows us to pause, relax, reflect upon, and just enjoy the tranquility of our lives with appreciation and gratitude. Ohigan means other shore, and it is the transition from this shore to birth and death in this life to the other shore of the land of the ultimate bliss, called the Pure Land. One of my favorite stories, the story of two rivers and the White Path, written by Master Shandao, the fifth of the 7 Pure Land masters revered by Shiman Shen. And this story is a metaphor for how human beings overcome life's challenges and struggles. A traveler in the story represents the human beings living in this world of suffering. The traveler comes upon a river where a white path, 4 to 5 inches wide, separates a river of water and a river of fire. In our reality, human beings face challenges, difficulties, and sadness arising from greed, desire, delusion, and despair, as well as anger, hatred, envy, jealousy, and revenge. At the river, the traveler faces bandits from the north and vicious beasts from the south, with the intent of doing him harm. If he stays, he will surely die. This is a metaphor for human beings feeling overwhelmed by life's challenges related to aging, health, and death. The traveler cannot force himself to cross the white path, fearing that he will either drown or be engulfed by the fire. In reality, he doesn't know what to do as he is paralyzed. What is he to do? Suddenly, he hears a voice on the eastern bank of the shore, the voice of Shakyamuni Buddha, telling him to cross over the white path by letting the Dharma guide. He then hears a voice coming from the western bank of the other shore, the voice of Amida Buddha, telling him to cross over the white path as he will protect the traveler from falling. Upon hearing these trusted voices, the fear of death disappears and the traveler crosses the white path safely. When we Jodo Shinshu Buddhists hear Shakyamuni and Amida Buddha's voices through the Dharma, we entrust our hearts and minds completely to them without reservation, for we know that we will be saved when we migrate to the Pure Land after our passing. Every time we say the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu, we say thank you in gratitude to Amida Buddha for ensuring our safe passage. And as we observe the spring Ohigan service, the discussion of the 6 paramitas, also known as the 6 perfections, is always associated with this Buddhist holiday. It is the 6 paramitas that help us to overcome the sea of human suffering, such as the white path, caused by our selfishness, ignorance, and delusion of our ego. Trying to master the 6 paramitas requires dedicated training and discipline. The 6 paramitas are split between 2 groups. The first 4 paramitas are considered skillful means practices, and they are giving, the quality of unconditional and selfless generosity, charity, the offering of our time and money free from attachment or expectation of receiving anything in return, such as gratitude, recognition, advantage, or reward. This kind of giving is the purest form of helping others. Ethics, the quality of self-discipline, morality, integrity, and honor that enables us to think of others in our thoughts, speech, actions, while refraining from killing, stealing, lying, and having malice towards others. Patience, the quality of tolerance, endurance, leniency, and acceptance that enables us to face life's challenges without losing our composure and tranquility, to ultimately see the goodness and beauty in others while overlooking the adversities of life. Effort, the quality of energy, vigor, diligence, and enthusiasm of our body, speech, and mind that allows us to develop strength of character so that we can work ceaselessly for the benefit of others. The last 2 paramitas are considered wisdom practices, and they are meditation, the quality of concentration, contemplation, awareness, and mindfulness that allows us to achieve focus and composure to overcome confusion, misperceptions, and attachments. And in doing so, be able to connect the paramitas of giving, ethics, patience, and effort to the paramita of wisdom. And finally, wisdom, the quality of perfect insight and understanding that goes beyond the limitations of our words, ideas, concepts, and intellectual knowledge, and therefore goes beyond our limited way of thinking related to our self-ego and attachments, acceptance and rejection, success and failure, hope and fear, happiness and sadness. Wisdom allows us to understand that all of these things are part of our life. So we have to adjust and adapt to the changing circumstances of life in order to live full lives, meaningful lives. As we strive for the perfection of wisdom, we become aware that people helping others, people being helped, and the compassionate acts of giving and receiving are all a part of humanity's efforts to overcome racism, discrimination, hatred, and cruelty, so that all of us can coexist in order to save the human race. But for me, the teachings of the 6 paramitas begin with each of us as we apply these concepts into our own lives in order to realize the intended benefits as we journey on our remembrance of path of salvation. In other words, to live the 6 perfections by applying it to our middle path journey, a path of moderation, always striving for balance and harmony as life's pendulum of constant changes, swings between the extremes of having, wanting, and doing everything, and not having, not wanting, or not doing anything. And according to Reverend Akahoshi, the retired reverend from San Diego Buddhist Church, the middle path is, quote, the middle path in Shin Buddhism is, quote, about appreciating what we have to balance the desire for what we don't have. Self-discipline, tolerance, diligence, endurance, awareness, positive energy, enthusiasm, and understanding of the six Paramitas teaching allow us to deal with our crazy world of constant changes so that we can help ourselves in order to help others. And I'd like to share with you two examples of my middle path experiences. My first example was about me being a diabetic and constantly struggling with trying to minimize the intake of carbohydrates. All my favorite foods, rice, potato, bread, and of course desserts, the cakes, the cookies, the pies. On one side, the extreme of eating anything I want, resulting in kidney failure, blindness, stroke, heart attack, and yes, even death. On the other side, the extreme of not eating any of my favorite foods, just eating vegetables, fish, pork, and chicken. And for me, there is no real enjoyment, as I need a variety of foods to squelch my appetite. And I now know why my father said in his old age that we live to eat and not eat to live. The middle path approach allows me flexibility of eating healthy, but every once in a while, savoring my favorite carbohydrate in moderation, all the while taking my medications and maintaining a somewhat healthy diet, which I think my wife would care to differ on that. But my second example is more general in nature. I know that all of us have done and said some pretty stupid things in the past and have deeply regretted it. One extreme is because you can't get over what you did and forgive yourself. You can only live in the past, even though nothing can be done to undo it. What a miserable life, miserable existence. The other extreme is always worrying about the future, the things yet to be determined in life. Again, what a miserable existence, since you can't live in and appreciate the present. And Buddhism teaches us that living in the present, in this moment, when everything is real, represents what living is all about. However, my caveat to just living in the present moment is that, sometimes you need to reflect upon the past, good or bad, to better deal with the present, to be better prepared for the present. And sometimes we need to think about the future in order to be better prepared when the future becomes the present. The small investment of time for taking into consideration both the past and the future allows me to enhance the experience of living in the present moment. And I have dealt with death in performing makaradios, funerals, and memorial services in order to bring closure to the grieving families. But I believe the minister's greater service to the Sangha is to place the spotlight on the celebration of life. And as we celebrate, give the very best effort to live in the one life that we have received. So I leave you with one final thought. Always cherish the gift of life. Please join me in God's show. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Thank you, Reverend Cutler, for your message, especially during this spring Ohigan, all of the things that we are allowed to truly reflect upon so that we can live this one and only life as gratefully as we can. And too bad the weather is not great to set the example for spring Ohigan, but I hope that we were able to enjoy some of the beautiful weather that we did have to reflect upon this opportunity in our life to be able to hear and receive the Buddha Dharma, again, in this one and only life that we have. So thank you, Sensei, for joining us this morning, despite your very, very busy schedule. So thank you, everybody, for your kind attendance today. And also, if you have any questions regarding any of the announcements, please come forward. And then are there any other announcements before we conclude? No? Okay. Okay, so thank you again for your kind attendance. Please travel home safely during the rain. And of course, if you didn't have an opportunity to offer incense, please come forward and you do so at this time. Thank you, everybody, and have a great week ahead. Thanks.
Just watch your step. Thank you for joining online. We'll see you next time. We appreciate you joining us for service. Thank you very much. Take care.